Hey Waffle Gang, I do hope you're well. My name is Mark and today we're checking out some more Reddit stories. And if you do love a Reddit story, why not consider hitting that like, subscribe, maybe that notification bell too. Let's crack on with today's first story. Much love guys. Now today's first story comes from felpross, who says, am I the arsehole here for leaving my best friend's surprise party early because it felt more like a roast? Okay, so I, 24 female, have this best friend. Let's call her Jenna, 24 female too. And we've been close since high school. Like held my hair up while I threw up in the Denny's bathroom type of friends. I honestly love her. I really do, but she can be a lot. So anyway, she threw this little surprise party for me last weekend. My birthday was last Tuesday, but she insisted on celebrating Friday. She told me to dress cute and made it sound like it was going to be this wholesome wine and charcuterie night with the girls. Sounds great, right? Well, I show up in this cute white dress I literally bought for the occasion. Hair curled, nails done, all that. I walk in and they yell surprise, but not in a "we love you" way. It was a theme party. The theme? Dress like the birthday girl and roast her. I kid you not. Everyone was wearing versions of my go-to outfits. Messy bun, iced coffee cups, fake nails, bad parking tickets taped to their bags. Okay, that one kinda got me. But then they started doing fake toasts that were just jabs. Like, here's to my name, who always has a 10-step skincare routine but still wakes up looking tired. To my name, who thinks astrology is a personality trait. To my name, who ghosted her gym membership but never forgets to DoorDash McFlurries at 2 a.m. Like, some of it was funny, I'll admit, but after 20 minutes, it just got mean. I kept smiling through it like, ha, good one. But deep down I was like, damn, this wasn't a roast with love, it was just people clowning on me for sport. So after pretending to go to the bathroom, I grabbed my keys, quietly told Jenna, I think I'm done for the night, and left. I didn't cause a scene. I didn't cry. I just left. I texted her later that I appreciated the effort, but it felt more like I was the butt of the joke, not the guest of honor. Now Jenna's mad and saying I embarrassed her, and that it was just jokes. And I'm being too sensitive. A few of the other messaged me saying that they thought I overreacted and that it was all in fun. But like, isn't a birthday supposed to feel good? Not like a Comedy Central special. So tell me, am I the arsehole here for walking out of my own roast disguised as a birthday party? Also for the record, I am now officially team next year I'm celebrating with pizza and my cat. Now, not the arsehole for me in this situation, you know, there's a big difference between affectionate teasing and then just making someone feel like crap on their birthday. And you know, this is someone that knows you. They should know what you would like, what you wouldn't like, etc. You know, friends will tease me about stuff that I will find funny at the same time. And I do. And I tease them with things that I know they would find funny as well. But let's say I was to overstep the line and you know, upset them. I'd be mortified with that and I would apologize and see how I can make it up to them in any way. Not say you're too sensitive and deflect. And celebrating with your cat and pizza next year sounds much better than whatever that was. But Anxious Ad says, not the arsehole, it was a roast. Opie says, yeah, I mean, it was a roast, but like, I thought I was getting cheese and wine, not emotional damage and public humiliation. I was literally standing there like, is this still fun or am I just the unpaid entertainment now? Honestly, if someone had handed me a mic and a drink, I would have done a type 5 about them too. Fairmount says, not the arsehole. Ironic she wants to claim anything about being embarrassed, but none of your friends care the humour got stale and are continuing to pile on rather than reflect. Well, are they even friends or do they even like you? Opie says, right? That's what's been messing with my head the most. Like, if this is their idea of fun or love, I'd honestly hate to see what their version of shade looks like. I kept thinking maybe I was being too sensitive. The fact that not one person said, hey, maybe this is going too far, kinda says it all. It felt like I walked into a group chat where they've been secretly roasting me for months and accidentally read the whole thing out loud. Still debating if I should fade out or hit them with a group message titled "Roast This" and attach a pic of me on a solo spa weekend. Another commenter says not the arsehole at all. There's a big difference between playful teasing and an ambush roast dressed up as a surprise party, especially when you weren't in on the joke or asked if you were cool with that kind of humor. It's your birthday. You're expecting love and charcuterie, not group humiliation with themed outfits. Honestly, planning a party where everyone mimics your style and makes you the punchline without your consent? That's not cute. That's mean girl behavior with a Pinterest board. If Jenna wanted to do a roast, she could have at least checked if that's your vibe. You smiled through it, stayed composed, and left respectfully, which is more grace than most people would have managed. The "you're too sensitive" line is just emotional gaslighting in a party hat. You set a boundary. That doesn't make you dramatic, it exhibits self-respect. So no, you're not the arsehole. You're just someone who expected a celebration and got a roast beef sandwich without asking for the beef. Next year, pizza and your cat sounds perfect. And one more comment from Squishmallow Girl who says, "Oh my god, that's so cruel. Not the arsehole. What an insane idea. I can't believe she actually got people to join in on this. Like nobody said, maybe this isn't a great idea. Ugh, I'm so sorry. I hope you were able to enjoy the rest of your birthday with your cat after you left. And the whole you're being too sensitive being used as a defense to their own hurtful actions almost makes the whole thing worse. I know you said you guys are lifetime friends, but I think that if I were in your shoes, this would probably make me think about taking a step or two back from the friendship. She didn't think about what you would want for your birthday. She thought about what she wanted to do." So then OP did come in with an update and said, "Hey everyone, wow, I did not expect this much love and support. I've been reading through your comments, like obsessively to be honest, and I can't tell you how comforting it's been. I thought I was crazy or being too sensitive like Jenna said, but apparently I was just reacting like a normal human with, feelings. So thank you. So here's what happened since I posted. Jenna texted me, not to apologize, but to send me a meme that said, 'Roasting is a love language,' with a laughing emoji. I left her on red because, girl, seriously." Later that night, one of the girls from the party, we call her Becca, DM'd me and said that she thought I knew about the roast. She said Jenna told everyone I was totally down for it and even helped plan it. I was like, what? The only thing I planned was the white dress I wore while being emotionally shanked by 6 girls in fake Uggs. Anyway, I gently explained to Becca that nope, I was blindsided, and she immediately apologized and said she felt really bad. She said if she had known, she had never gone along with it. So that honestly made me feel a bit better. At least one of them has a soul. As for Jenna, radio silent since the meme. No apologies, no "hey I messed up," nothing. So I've decided I'm not going to chase people to value me. My new plan? I took a personal day, got myself a mini spa package, ate overpriced macaroons, and spent my night with my cat binge watching The Bear while wearing a gold face mask like I was healing from battle. Because emotionally, I kinda was. I've realized this whole thing was actually a weird gift. I got roasted, yes, but I also got clarity. I thought I had a solid group of friends. Turns out, I had a front row seat to my own roast, hosted by people who think mean but make it Pinterest is a cute party idea. So yeah, next year, it's just me, my cat, a pizza the size of a steering wheel, and 0 surprises. And you know what? That honestly sounds perfect. Thanks again for validating my gut feeling. You'll really help me feel seen. Ugh, she lied to everyone about you being okay with it, It's just manipulation, isn't it? She knew deep down that that was messed up, so created a fake narrative with it where you're willing to do so. And Becca did exactly what your so-called friend should have done, and that was apologize for hurting you, for making you upset. But good on you for taking your spa day and, and the pizza the size of a steering wheel sounds absolutely amazing. I could do with one myself right now, but good on you. But what do you guys make of this situation? Let us know your thoughts down in the comments below, and let's move on to another story. Now our next story comes from the True Off My Chest subreddit. There is a trigger warning on it of sexual harassment. It's from AstareInfernum, who says, I brought my sister to a barbecue with our close friends and their husband crossed a line. I, 27 female, Italian, live in Italy with my fiance, 35 male, German. A few months ago, we became close friends with a couple in their 40s. The wife is also Italian and the husband is from New Zealand. They moved here about 5 years ago with their 2 boys. They always came across as the perfect family, grounded, warm, fun to be around. We'd have poker nights, play volleyball, and they often invited us over for barbecues. We genuinely trusted them and enjoyed spending time together. So when they invited us for another barbecue, I brought my 19-year-old sister along. She was visiting me, and it felt totally safe to include her. We were going to see people we considered good friends. The evening was like usual, food, drinks, music, good vibes, but later that night after we got home, my fiancé told me something that had unsettled him. He noticed the husband standing very close to my sister, his hand too low on her back. At first, he wasn't sure what he saw. Maybe it was nothing, but then he saw it happen again. Let me be clear, we were all very drunk. When we arrived back home, something was off. My fiancé was asking my sister if something had happened. She hesitated for a moment and then just broke down in tears. She admitted the husband had touched her inappropriately. Twice. She'd gotten up to get a glass of water because she felt uncomfortable. But when she came back, it happened again. I was absolutely heartbroken, shocked, frozen. I couldn't believe what I was hearing. What hurt even more was that my sister felt guilty. She said she didn't want to ruin our night or break our friendship with them, as if she had done something wrong. Watching her cry like that and blame herself shattered me. The man we trusted, someone we welcomed into our lives, violated that trust in such a disgusting way. And it's complicated because his wife is a kind, sweet woman and their kids are innocent in all this. They don't deserve the fallout, but at the same time, this can't just be swept under the rug. So my fiancé is going to confront him, alone and calmly. Not to create drama, but to make it crystal clear. We saw what he did, and it's not okay. He doesn't get to walk away from this as if nothing happened. We're not trying to destroy anyone's family, but we're not protecting a predator either. This man is not who we thought he was. We'll never look at him the same again. This whole thing has changed the way I look at people, even those who seem decent on the outside. Sometimes it only takes one moment to see what's really behind the mask. I have to say, I'm so disappointed and I feel like shit, as if I did not protect my sister. It's really shocking. You can't trust nobody nowadays. Has anyone had a similar situation? The first commenter says, it's not your fault. How could you have known? But you should tell his wife. Opie says, I'm considering to do so, but I also just want to distance ourselves completely from this family. I'm fully disgusted by this, as if I let my guard down. Aim High says, the wife needs to know. You are only protecting this man. Shame him, and it is you and your sisters who should be. All go and it will be a lesson for everyone. Opie says currently fiancé and I are still processing everything. We really feel sick to the stomach and we're trying to think carefully of our next move on how we're going to address it. What confuses me, the wife was there. What if she noticed something but decided not to comment on it or act clueless? What if I make the situation harder on my sister? It's very complicated. It's such a delicate matter and I understand what you are saying. As much as I want to make a scene and lash out, I'm thinking if what is best for my sister. And honestly, this whole thing has traumatized her and I don't want her to even be near this person and make things worse. Little Bit Perp says, my 24 female partner 27 male have been together for almost 9 years at the end of this year. From the beginning, he was friends with this girl he had known since elementary school, and she ended up getting married to a high school sweetheart maybe 4 years or so into us dating. We went to their wedding and everything. A few years into their marriage, my partner gets a call from his friend and she asks if I had ever sent her husband nudes. I was in the car when she called and I was just stunned because I had no idea what she was talking about. I was in no way into her husband and never thought of him that way. I found out he had colluded with another male friend of ours to take my phone at their parties and send himself my nudes without me knowing. He'd delete the chat history on my end, so I couldn't see what he had done. And later, he'd send it to our other friend, where they'd save it to whatever external thing they had, I guess. Not too sure. But all of this was happening under my nose for God knows how long. Probably years. My partner and I never suspected him, and it body slammed us both when we found out. We haven't made any new male friends and don't really plan to because stuff like this has happened so many times throughout our relationship that it's just too much of a risk. I know my experience isn't quite like yours, but I'm sorry for what happened to your sister and don't really have good advice except to try to be diligent and keep your eyes open. It's often the people you'd least suspect, unfortunately. Opie replied saying, "Thank you for sharing your story. That seems awful. I can't imagine the disgust and shock you must have felt. It is so true. The people you least expect are the ones you actually need to keep a close eye on. You see, this is what makes me feel sick to my stomach. You see this family and you even look up to them because their life seems to be going all good for them. Loving couple, smart as well, and honestly even their relationship with their kids seems to be very healthy. As they are young, like 12 to 13 years old, but so grounded, smart and well spoken. You wouldn't even suspect a thing for them being mistreated or even having bad parents. This is what fucks up my thought process. I'm like, why? How can this happen? Why did I let my guard down? I've always been somebody very cautious of older men being inappropriate. I've been sexually harassed back in my time of university from my professors, even been touched inappropriately by my mentor when I was 17 or 18, who I trusted and thought was a good person. The thing is, I've always been the type of person that never wanted to cause drama and would stay quiet, even if it killed me internally. I hate this about myself. So with my sister, I've been so protective and vocal about how disgusting men can be. And she tells me every fucking thing that goes on in her life. And the fact that I did not protect her from something like this, it feels like I even brought her in the danger zone without knowing. It's so heartbreaking, really. But OP did update the post and says, "Hey everyone, this is a follow-up to the experience I shared a few days ago about the barbecue where my younger 19 sister was touched inappropriately by someone we consider a close friend. After sitting with it for a few days and after reading all the comments that we must tell the wife, we decided to have a serious talk with my sister if whether she is comfortable enough for us to confront them both. I have to say we have been experiencing a lot of anger and negativity. Mean comments by her said out loud, how disgusted she is feeling and etc. and so on. And tough for me to deal with all this, especially as I'm responsible of her. And I was supposed to protect her from these things. I know that this anger and lashing out is her way of dealing with the situation. And I understand her completely. Still, very hard and it hurts. We made the decision to just create a group chat with them both, husband and wife, and explain everything exactly what happened. In the message, we described what happened, how deeply it affected my sister, and how we all felt completely betrayed by someone we trusted. My fiance witnessed it too, but wasn't sure until my sister confirmed it. So they can't say that my sister is making this whole thing up because it was witnessed. We didn't ask for anything from them. We simply stated the truth. My sister made it clear that the only form of justice she felt she had was us exposing what happened to both of them, so that they have to carry that weight. She didn't want to stay silent, so I admire her for that. The wife was the only one that responded privately. She said that she was sorry for what happened and sorry that my sister was uncomfortable, but quickly shifted the tone, making it seem like we are making it more than a big deal it actually is. And in her personal opinion, we didn't have to end everything because of this. She also said that she is sure that her husband will get back to my fiance and respond in his own words. She ended it with, "Best of luck, goodbye." No real apology, no ownership, no accountability, just a huge wall to the whole thing. But here's the part that makes me wonder even more. They never reached out after that night. Normally they'd follow up inviting us for drinks. It was part of our regular rhythm, but this time, silence. Honestly, I think she already knew something. So this has been a painful process. But one thing I know, we protected my sister and we didn't allow this to be buried. That alone gives us peace. What happens now to them, I'm pretty sure they will continue together and act as if this never happened, and she will protect her husband no matter what. Typical. Commenter says, "I feel your pain, OP. It's really messed up what those pricks did, but hey, At least your sis found some closure by making them squirm. I'm sure they regret not owning up and apologizing properly. Karma's a real bitch like that. Opie says, I still think the wife is a victim in this too though. It's a sad reality to find out that your partner of all years is an untrustworthy piece of shit. It's a complicated matter, but my priority is my sister and her alone. And a lot of the comments were saying about how the wife already knew about his behavior, and it certainly does feel that way. Her defensive reaction and, the suspicious radio silence about it. And I can see why you mentioned about, being conflicted about maybe the wife was a potential victim too, but her response on this was showing that she's choosing to protect him over acknowledging the harm to your sister, what she's gone through, the way that she's feeling now. And that's the wife's choice, and the consequences of that are hers to live with. And you didn't fail your sister, you didn't let your guard down. People like that are skilled at what they do. These were meant to be friends of yours, they're meant to be trustworthy, but at the same time, your sister felt safe enough to talk to you about what happened, and that shows that you have a real bond with trust with her, which is absolutely amazing. You believed her immediately and took action. But now, I'm going to turn this one to you guys. What do you guys make of this situation? Let us know your thoughts down in the comments below. And just a huge thank you for being here today, getting involved in the stories, your love, your support, your time. It always means the absolute world to me. So thank you so much, and hopefully I'll see you in the next one. Take care and much love.
Wake up, get up, stretch my legs, eat some breakfast, milk and eggs, brush my teeth up, wash my face, throw my clothes on, start my day. Wake up, I can smell the smoke from the bacon. Let's go, see the sun shining from the windows. Okay, I know that today'll be a good day.